it is your turn, but first I need to show you where I'm at. I have lived most of my life in a border state here with Idaho, and I've heard about this place for my entire life, but I've never visited here. This is Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. The kids are playing at a park here at the moment, so I'll record our Medicare video. Now you might see people walking around in the background, but that's okay. This is a walkway here. There's a plane that's actually taking off on the lake, which is super cool. I don't know that we'll get a chance to experience that, but again, you're not here for that. That's on our other channel. You're here for the Medicare stuff. So here's how Medicare works in Idaho. In Idaho, you should feel pretty special because you have some unique Medicare opportunities that don't exist in most states. And right out of the gate here in Idaho, there are two major players from an insurance company perspective. This is for both Advantage plans and supplement plans. It doesn't mean that you have to go with these two companies, but it's just they're very dominant here in the state of Idaho. In other states throughout the country, there's a little bit more competition. Here in Idaho, and again, a handful of others, it's pretty heavy with one or two insurance companies. I stay as neutral as possible on this channel, so I'm not going to promote either one of them here, just letting you know that they exist. If you want more details around them, then you can reach out and we can talk about that. Let's cover the supplement plan options first because there's a lot to cover here. Now, the average supplement plan G premium here in Idaho is $210 per person per month. You compare that with the national average, which is $150 per person per month for a supplement plan G and a 65-year-old, you can see that it's quite a bit higher than the national average. For a plan N in Idaho, the average is $175 versus the national average of $120. So again, we're seeing higher supplement plan premiums, and there's a reason. Number one, you are a true community rated state. When it comes to supplement plans, remember there are 3 different rating systems. The most common is attained age. This is where your premiums are based on the age you have attained. As you have a birthday and you attain a new age, you get a happy birthday increase, plus another increase for just annual cost increases, medical costs going up, and inflation. That's attained age. Not happening here in Idaho. It used to. It's not happening now. The second is issue age. That's based on the day that you were issued the policy. So if you were 67 and you got the policy, your rate is based on your age at 67. You do not get the happy birthday increases. You do get annual rate increases just for rising healthcare costs and inflation. And then we have community rated, which is here in Idaho, and that is not based on your age at all. If you are 65, you're paying the same amount as if you are 105. The only thing they can look at here is tobacco use. So if you are a tobacco user, you can see a different rate, but for everybody else, the rate is the same. The younger you are, the more you're paying, as we've noticed here, the average of $210 versus the national average of $150. However, the older you are, you're paying less than you would. So as 85 or a 95-year-old is paying less than they would somewhere else, while a 65-year-old is paying more than they would somewhere else. You have the standard supplement plan letters here. So those 10 supplement plan letters, again, the most popular by far right now is Plan G, and then Plan N is next. All of the insurance companies that offer these supplement plans, a Plan G is the same regardless of whatever insurance company that you pick. The things that are going to be different are the rates. So we talked about the average costs. There are plans that are higher, there are plans that are lower. So the rates of those plans, you have the customer service of the insurance companies that are involved, and then you have the speed of how quickly they pay claims, and then also how much their rates increase over time. So how stable they are. One company could have big rate increases each year, or they could fluctuate quite a lot. Others are a little bit more stable. With community rated plans, you are still seeing an increase due to medical costs going up and inflation. So with any of these 3 different options of issuing supplement plans, they all have increases. A lot of times people say, I want the supplement plan that doesn't have any annual increases. Those don't exist. They just increase differently based on the type of plan. Now, Idaho, you have a very unique and special birthday rule when it comes to supplement plans. So if you are on a Medicare supplement plan, around your birthday, you can switch to another Medicare supplement plan without medical underwriting or without the fear of being denied. Now, the rule here is that you have to go from a like supplement plan or lower. So for example, Plan G has more benefits than a Plan N. So if you have a Plan G and you want to switch to a Plan N, you can because you're switching down or for lesser benefits. If you have a Plan G, you can switch to another Plan G with a different insurance company because it is like plans. They are the same thing. If you're on a Plan G and you want to switch up to a Plan F, if you were able to, you couldn't do that because you're switching up in benefits, and that's not allowed under this unique birthday rule. So you can switch from like plan or down. This does not apply if you're on an Advantage plan. You can't just switch from an Advantage plan to a supplement plan anytime you want around your birthday. Advantage plans are going to follow the same trial right rules that exist nationally, but we'll cover that in a minute because there's still a lot to cover here on the supplement plan side. So why would somebody want to switch supplement plans around their birthday? Well, as we mentioned, the rates can be different between insurance companies. So maybe you started with an insurance company that had lower than normal rates, but their increases have been more aggressive than the other companies, and now you're paying more than you would with a different insurance company. Well, that might be a reason to switch over. Or again, if you're wanting to switch down to a different letter because maybe Plan G is giving you more than you need and you want to go down to Plan N for a double savings when you're switching to an insurance company that has lower rates, and Plan N in general is lower rates. So those are a couple of reasons of why you would want to switch supplement plans around your birthday. If you do want to switch, then there is a window that is 63 days from your birthday. So starting on your birthday, you have 63 days to submit an application. If that application is accepted, then your effective date or the start date of your new plan would be the first day of the month after your birthday month. So to finish up with supplement plans, again, you have higher than average rates because your entire state is community rated and the openness to switch around your birthday. This causes the rates to rise. Idaho switched to this version of the birthday rule with supplement plans in March of 2022, so it's relatively new, but that is what caused the rates to go up. Now, there are insurance companies and plans that had the issue age type plans before this whole change happened, and they kind of closed their blocks. So you may be on one of those plans that acts a little bit differently than what everybody else is experiencing through community rated. Now, from a supplement plan perspective, there are opportunities for discounts, and we've talked about this in other videos, but there are household discounts where if you and another person in your house have the same insurance company, they will offer you a discount. There are discounts if you're wearing a smartwatch of some sort, of Fitbit or an Apple Watch, to where you can connect that with the insurance company, and then if they can see that you're active and exercising, they can offer you discounts. There are other discounts available if you pay for your premiums all up front in a year rather than monthly. So there are a lot of opportunities for discounts here. Again, I talk about this in most of the videos. It's important to find an agent who is licensed and familiar with your area who can offer these types of discounts for you rather than you having to shop around to every insurance company that exists. Now, I do have partners who are located here in Idaho. They're great and they've lived here their entire lives. So if you do need help here in Idaho, please reach out. I'm more than happy to connect you to my partners here in Idaho. Now, Idaho, you have the 17th highest Medicare supplement plan penetration rate. So let's talk about what penetration rate means. That means if everybody who is given the opportunity to pick between original Medicare only or an Advantage plan, a supplement plan, or other, so FEHB, VA, TRICARE for Life, other plans, Idaho's percentage is 24% choose Medicare supplement plans. Now, nationally, the average is 21%, so you're slightly above the national average when it comes to supplement plans. And one of the reasons for that, even though the rates are higher, is because there are entire sections of Idaho where an Advantage plan is not even available. Remember, Advantage plans are zip code specific, and there are portions of Idaho where they do not offer Advantage plans. This is your more rural areas, and again, across your city centers, you think of Boise's or the larger cities, you're going to have more of an opportunity for an Advantage plan in larger cities. This applies nationally, not just in Idaho. More rural, fewer Advantage plans, more urban, more Advantage plans. So let's focus here on Advantage plans here for a bit. The average maximum out of pocket for Advantage plans here in Idaho is around $5,800. The national average is $5,000 for the year. So you're slightly higher maximum out of pockets than the national average. Again, this is an average here in Idaho. There are portions of the state that have higher maximum out of pockets than this. There are portions and plans that have lower maximum out of pockets than this. So where you live matters. And again, larger cities, you're looking at more of a competitive market where you can have more access to different Advantage plans. I mentioned this earlier, but you have the same trial rights here in Idaho that you do nationally. It's the same rules here, where if you go on Medicare at 65 and you take an Advantage plan first, so your Part A, your Part B, and your Advantage plan start date have to be the same day, and this only happens at your 65th birthday. So if you take an Advantage plan at this point, you have 1 year to try it out, and then you can switch to a supplement plan if you don't like it within that year without any medical underwriting, without any fear of getting denied. If you go on an Advantage plan or you take Medicare for the first time after 65, so let's say you're 67, your Part A effective date backdates 6 months, and then your Part B and your Advantage plan effective dates will be the same, but the Part A date is not. So you do not have the same trial right. The other trial right opportunity that exists here is if you take a supplement plan first. And this doesn't have to be when you turn 65. So let's say I go on Medicare for the first time at 67, and my first choice is a supplement plan. And if I wanted to change from that supplement plan to an Advantage plan, I could do so, and I still have that 1-year trial, right, where I can try out the Advantage plan and switch back to a supplement plan or the supplement plan I had with no medical underwriting, no fear of getting denial. So there's two kind of trial right opportunities here that exist. You're going on Medicare for the first time at 65 and you take an Advantage plan, or you're going on Medicare and then for the first time you pick a supplement plan at any age, then you can switch to an Advantage plan. In both of those, you have a year to try it out. And then here's another opportunity in Idaho that is unique. And there is an insurance company, and again, I'm not promoting any specific insurance company by name, but there's an insurance company where if you have been with them for 2 years, you can switch to one of their supplement plans with no medical underwriting. And when I say you've been with them, this could be that your employer was with this insurance company and therefore you were with this insurance company for 2 years. You go on Medicare, and since you've been with them for 2 years, you can switch to a supplement plan. Or if you've had an Advantage plan for 2 years, you've been with this insurance company for 2 years, you can switch on to their supplement plan with no medical underwriting. And let's say that maybe they have a higher premium for their supplement plans than you would like. Well, you go on their supplement plan and then your birthday comes around and then you can switch to any other supplement plan with any other insurance company on your birthday. Now, this insurance company does have competitive rates, so I'm just giving an example here of how you can use this system to have a more advantageous Medicare arrangement for yourself. And then again, work with our partners here in Idaho to make sure that everything's working out for you and to get the most of your Medicare arrangement. This is not normal. So this insurance company thing that I just explained with the 2-year rule, that is not a standard. That is not something that's normal across the country. It's an exception, and it is here in Idaho. So make sure that you're making the most of that. Here's something that surprised me is people have watched a lot of these videos. They ask, how much does it cost to use us? It does not cost you anything to use an agent to help you with Medicare. In fact, it's illegal for us to charge you anything. You will never pay us for the service that we offer. And that's even if you decide to use us for help. You will never pay us for help with Medicare. We are paid through insurance companies, not through you. Now, the average Advantage plan penetration rate, we talked about it with supplement plans, but the average Advantage plan penetration rate here in Idaho is 47%. The national average is right around 50%, so slightly lower than the national average. Again, a big reason for this is there are big sections of Idaho where Advantage plans just aren't available. Okay, I think that about does it here for Idaho. Again, you are a unique state. You have a lot going on here, and it's awesome. I think that Idaho is a really good state when it comes to Medicare rules and giving you more flexibility around what you can and can't do. I'm off to spend a little bit more time here in Coeur d'Alene with the family, and then we are headed to Washington, which is also a unique state that has a lot of its own unique rules. So we will cover that as we head west into Washington. I appreciate you taking the time to watch.